what's poppin'. All right. And in this section, we're going to be talking about something that's happening in the branding world, social media world that I'll cover. And then Moose will cover the business side, whatever's happening over there. So I'm going to be honest, right? I really didn't want to talk about the Kanye thing. I really didn't. Okay? I didn't want to talk about it. But then, of course, I find this clip that reminds me a little bit about it. So I'll probably refer to it. So I'm not going to, but I'm going to. If for people who are like, is Nicky and Moose going to be talking about the Kanye Drink Champs? Bare minimum, because I'm over it. But anyways, so Draymond Green, as we saw, well, you may not have saw. So let me do a quick recap, right? There was a video that was leaked of the Golden State Warriors practice, right? Now that NBA is back, there's been a lot of focus on the, NBA teams. And there was a video that was leaked that Draymond Green busted Jordan Poole's head. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. That looked mean.
Okay,
that was really bad. So, of course, everybody was waiting for what does Jordan have to say? What does Draymond Green have to say? And Draymond has a podcast, right? And the question was, is it going to be on the podcast? Is it not? And he was actually talking at TechCrunch, and I really wanted to see his response about it, because when we think about it, he has all right to speak about it on his platform. That's kind of his brand. He's trying to create something outside of basketball. And so this is what he said.
For me to release a podcast and speaking on the Jordan Poole incident that we had in practice, ultimately, the numbers will probably shoot through the roof, right? Because everybody wants to hear, and people love controversy, and so I never want to do that and look like I'm chasing something for my personal gain. And so that was why I didn't release a podcast on the situation at all. I've spoke about it several times.
Yeah,
right?
No, for sure. Yeah.
So here's my thing, right? Because as we're growing these different platforms, whether it is as far as social media platforms, whether it's our podcast, whether it's a video platform, whatever it is, we need to understand the purpose of it. We need to understand more about why do people come here, and what is it going to do from the bigger standpoint, meaning how's my audience going to react to this? What is the impact that it's going to create, right? And this is a lot of responsibility just based off just some of the hobbies we want to do. A podcast to some is a hobby, right? Some people take it very serious in the business side of things, but for some, it's a hobby, right? Social media, some people take that very serious. Some people just find it as just leisure, right? But for those people who are taking these different platforms serious, it's more like, okay, I have to tread lightly. I know people are going to wait for what I have to say about this. And I know I can get numbers. I know that I can get the ads going on this. I'll probably could monetize this out of the wazoo. But he was like, this is not what this is for. All right. As well as I could really make my teammate feel a certain kind of way. Which, even though it's his platform, it still affected the reason why it never came out. Is it there? There is an episode. Now, here is where I say I'm trying to avoid it, but this is where I can't avoid it, right? So for those who do know, the Kanye West Drink Champs situation, Kanye went on Drink Champs. Nori was hyping it up, right? It's going to do numbers. It's going to be great. breaking the internet, all that situation, right? He was hyping it up. It was only up for about a day, and it got over 1 million views, but it was so controversy. There was so much things that went wrong with that interview. Now, since that interview, of course, Nori had apologized for the George Floyd comments, for, the Jewish situation, for whatever Kanye was saying on his platform. He said sorry. Now, shout out to Ebro, because Ebro was like, come on, Nori. You knew it was going to do numbers. You knew this. You knew what was happening, right? And he tried to dodge it, but then he kind of admitted he did, right? And he actually said, like, look, I already scored a touchdown. I had 2 interviews with him, part 1 and part 2. I got the numbers. This was just me trying to spike the ball, and I lost control, right? Now, I'm not going to go super into that. I just wanted to give the backstory of as far as how important it is to control your own platform and being aware of the impact that it can create, right? This is what people are going to associate you for. So with Draymond, it could have been like, oh, I'm only going to this podcast for the gossip. And he's like, this is not what that's for anymore. Like, not anymore, but ever, right? You're not going to come here just to find the tea about why I punched my man, right? To where we have the other side of things, to where it went from a platform that was celebrating the legends to now something that kind of broke people's trust because of certain events that happen. Now, my whole thing about this is control the platform, control your brand. We're creating something bigger than we can even imagine, right? Nori also, it's like, yo, I'm a journalist. I think from a journalist standpoint, I did amazing. Now, some people are he's a podcaster. Well, Draymond also was like, yo, it's bigger than me, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to understand when we have situations that could probably stir up the pot, do we want to take that risk? Who is it going to impact? How is it going to do a positive or negative towards our brand? And I think that's the biggest lesson that I got when it comes to this Draymond Green situation and how he went about it, because he could have. I mean, his podcast isn't the top. It's up there, but it's not the top. And he knows the eyes are there waiting 100%. For him to say something. They would have clipped that up easy. Mm-hmm. But they didn't, because he didn't give them any reason to.
Yeah.
Nori's team clipped that up before it was even released. You knew what you were doing. But also, from a positive side, Draymond knew what he was doing. And the whole lesson is just, we have to control the impact. We have to control our platform, right? And we have to understand the real purpose of why we're creating these different pieces of content and these different media platforms.
That's rich, man. That's rich. I agree. How about that? I agree.